Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest top 5 video, the show where my wife gives me a topic in progressive rock and I give my top 5 list just off the top of my head. This is meant to be more just fun and light. I don't really spend a lot of time going over copious notes and studying this stuff. I just do what comes to mind as a prog fan based on my prior knowledge, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a good jumping off point for the audience to be able to comment below and give their top 5 lists. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I would recommend subscribing. It's a lot of fun here and it's fun to be a part of the community. I do these videos every week, every Tuesday, so you get a top 5 list, and it's always fun to see people's contributions, and people often give me things that I didn't think about or great recommendations for new songs or albums depending on the topic. So today we're going over a really cool topic. This is the top 5 songs by the band Yes. Now Yes is a band I cover very often on the channel. They're one of the groups that I love the most, and I know I have a lot of fans here who are just mega fans of the band Yes, who have seen countless shows by them over the years and have followed them since the 70s. This is just such an incredible band that really personifies the progressive rock genre. To me, probably better than any other band. They're just top tier Premier League progressive rock. And so narrowing down their list of music to 5 songs is pretty much an impossible task. But these are the 5 songs that really have meant the most to me throughout the years as a Yes fan, and the ones that are close to my heart. So let me get into my top 5 list. So at number 5, I have the song Awaken from Going for the One from 1977. Awaken is just such a beautiful, expansive song. It's credited to John Anderson and Steve Howe. It's a really beautiful expression by the group. It's interesting, this isn't really an album that my dad really shared with me, because my journey with Yes, as I've talked about before on the channel, is that my dad is a huge Yes fan. He shared the band with me when I was discovering music at a younger age. And we basically started with the Yes album and went forward in time with the Yes albums up till Relayer. And then that was basically the stretch of albums that he cared most about, and kind of left me to my own devices after that. He's just not as big on Going for the One compared to other people. So it was an album I discovered mostly on my own, and I was blown away by it. Surprised that my dad didn't really count this as one of the best Yes albums, because it's so incredible and the music on it is just so awesome, and it culminates in Awaken, which is just this expanded beautiful piece. It's a lengthy piece, but it really encapsulates the band, especially John Anderson's style of just this uplifting nature. And I really love the church organ and how beautiful and heavenly the sound is, and it's one of those that just takes you to new heights and just really brings this feeling of joy and positivity in your heart. And I just really think that's an incredible track that personifies them really well. Number 4, I'm going to pick Starship Trooper from the Yes album from 1971. And just to go behind the curtain a little bit, I tried to pick only one song from each of the different albums that I'm covering here. So really, when looking at the Yes album as a whole, it's difficult for me to pick and choose, because there's so many great tracks from it that I really love and hold in high regard, like Yours Is No Disgrace, and Perpetual Change is incredible. I love so many things about the album, but Starship Trooper to me stands out as one of my early favorites from the group, and I think it's a big fan favorite for obvious reasons. It's a great extended suite and piece, but it has a bit of an accessibility to it. It has these great catchy, great melodies to it, and I love that final section, the Worm section, which just continues with this same play out over and over again, but it has different variations as you continue onward, and it's just such a great exploration of their sound, and just really gives you that expanded feel of their epic pieces, but in a little bit of a smaller package compared to some of their bigger epics to come later. And there's just, I love the different parts to it. There's more of almost a country styled section with Steve Howe playing that sort of way on the guitar, which really brings another added element to the piece. And there's just such great chemistry behind the different band members. It's a really great exploration of this idea that it's a band with every member having their own unique personality and coming to create this really interesting stew of different influences and different genres, and it really culminates here in a great way. One of the early examples to me of the band really doing these different styles, but it all sounds like them, and it still sounds cohesive and works really well in the song. Number 3 on my list is Heart of the Sunrise from Fragile, from 1971, of course. It originated as a love song that John Anderson wrote for his wife at the time, Jennifer, and so it was meant to be more of a love song, but it ended up getting a lot more expanded, and Wakeman built his classically trained background into it to really create a great expanded piece that really is a great closer to one of their classic albums. It's one that really stood out to me when I was first discovering the band. It has this really almost chaotic opening as they get into the musical landscape of this piece, but then it softens and you get John Anderson's heavenly voice singing over top of it, and it just really showcases the band at their best. Everyone playing at top form, and they have this great blend of being able to impress you musically with these really cool extended instrumental sections, but then being able to put that aside to just really delve to the heart of the matter and to really give you this incredible feeling of peace and joy and all of these things that they're able to personify so well. So I just really love this piece. I think it's one of their classics and really should be one that's heralded as not just a progressive rock classic, but a rock classic in general. I think it's just really a great example of the band. Getting into number 2, we're getting into Gates of Delirium from Relayer. This is, of course, a piece from 1974. It's an expanded epic, a 22-minute track that to me really details a battle scene. It's fascinating to hear musically this battle going on, and what's so brilliant about it to me is that they're able to use their instruments to be able to portray this very visual setting. Music is only what you can hear, really, but to be able to paint such a vivid picture of what they're trying to portray in the music is just such an incredible feat that I think is an incredible thing that the band's able to do, that they're able to really paint a picture of a scene that you're supposed to be visualizing as this music is going on. And of course they use different sound effects and different things to evoke this battle scene, these crashing sounds, and things like that to me make me think of clashing swords and shields and things of that nature. Patrick Moraz comes on board for this piece and does some incredible jazz playing over top of this, and it's chaotic, but in the best possible way. It's fun music to listen to. It's impressive. I'm always blown away that they're able to keep this piece together and it doesn't just fly off the rails, because it is quite chaotic at points, but of course that personifies the battle scene just so well. But it all culminates in this beautiful ending, the Soon section, where John Anderson is just able to give this heavenly vocal, one of his best with the band for me, and it's like this calm after the storm. It's this rising of waving the white flag a little bit after this battle and having this moment of quiet and reflection, and it's a beautiful section that really has always captivated me and is one of my favorite pieces of progressive rock. But I'm giving number 1 probably to the obvious pick, to Close to the Edge from the album of the same name. This is their classic. This is it's the foundation to the progressive rock I love. This is what people point to as like the definitive epic of progressive rock to look towards as an example of the genre, and I think for good reason. It's beautiful. It runs the gamut, just similar to the previous song, Gates of Delirium, that I mentioned. It runs the gamut between like a crazy, almost chaotic, jazz-infused opening, but then there's beautiful sections where there's lots of peace and lots of space in the sound, and they're just doing these incredible vocal harmonies, and then you get this powerful organ from Rick Wakeman that leads into the finale of the song. It's beauty personified, it's power personified. Every band member gets to shine. It has this incredible bass line from Chris Squire that was what struck me when I first heard this with my dad as we were going through the Yes catalog. It's like how inventive and cool this bass line is under this song. Just that's what grabbed my ear. And I think it's fascinating to have a bass player have such a prominent role and be such a leading musician of the group. I've talked about it a lot with Jana on our Jana React series because she always picks out the bass parts as well. But I can't wait to get to this song when me and Jana will eventually react to it. It's one I'm kind of holding on to because I know it's one of the big pieces that we haven't gotten to yet, but it's just such a beautiful piece that does everything you'd want a progressive rock epic to do and is really the framework that all progressive rock looks towards as like the blueprint, and I think it deserves its praise for that reason because it's just such a brilliant epic, such a brilliant piece of music, and it blows me away that they could come up with something like this. And it just shows a band at the peak of their powers and doing everything right. So that's my number one. So those are my picks, my top 5 of Yes. Of course, there's so many great Yes songs. I'm sure many of you will put them in the comments. I could think of 20 other songs that could also vie for this list too. So this is just how I felt in this moment, but it's a fun time to be able to talk about this band. There's just such a fun band to talk about. So thank you guys for joining me on this episode, and hopefully you'll join me in a future top 5. Thanks everybody. Bye.